Hello and welcome to That's a Wrap Early Edition.
Yes.
My name is Anthony Gentry, and joining me today is.
Austin Jameson. Hello.
Hello. For
Yeah.
those of you live, this is a little different.
Mhm.
We are recording this on a Friday
Yes.
at 1:30 instead of our usual Mondays at 2,
Mhm.
mainly because where we record is going to be closed on
Mhm.
Monday, so we decided, hey, we don't want you guys to miss out.
Yeah.
Let's just do it early.
And that we did. We knocked out our topic today
Yes.
is going to be Halloween,
Halloween
Ends.
For now.
Allegedly the last in however movies there are now. But we'll see the box office and we'll see if they do it again. But
It made $5 million last night, so I'm guessing there'll be another.
okay.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. But yeah, we're on fall break here, so
Yeah.
recording a little early for you guys.
But first,
yes,
we have a few trailers to talk about.
as always.
Because believe it or not, people release trailers like in the little bit of time that
Yeah.
we had between our first trailer.
Yeah.
Let's do Matilda.
Okay, I'm down for Matilda.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a musical adaptation of Matilda is coming to Netflix in a theatrical musical way.
Yeah. It's the musical based on the stage musical,
Yes.
based on the movie, based on the book.
Yes, you got it. I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks really
Yeah.
stylish. I think I like that they're leaning into it being like. It feels like a stage play. It feels like Moulin Rouge,
It
where
does.
it's like everything's over the top and ridiculous. But that's the point, and I think they're doing that really well.
It looks like an homage to the original film, but also, like you said, it's like a stage play, like they're doing their own thing. Of
Yeah.
course, it's different in that it's a musical.
Right.
I always forget that Matilda has superpowers. Like, for some reason, I forget one of the most important plot
at
points.
the end.
But yeah, they put in the cake scene in the trailer. That always grossed me out as a kid. It's just disturbing. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure I'm going to be disturbed watching that scene.
You'll be disturbed while jamming out to a banger. So
Yeah, exactly.
I think it looks like a good time. I'm not sure when it comes out, but
I think Christmas.
it's probably something that I will be watching.
Yeah, by the way, Emma Thompson as the strict principal.
Right.
That's an amazing choice. I love that. Bring back Danny DeVito, please.
True. We miss him. Danny DeVito, speaking of, I know you're listening. Go ahead, reach out to us. We'd love to have you on the show.
Yes, you reach out to us.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think that's the most professional way.
Come on, we're college students.
If you
We're
want to be
busy.
on the show.
Which,
so-
I mean, why wouldn't you? Danny DeVito, we love you.
Yes, we do.
Yes. Anyway,
yes. What do we got?
our next trailer is a horror movie
Mm-hmm.
coming in January, which those two never really mix well. But let's see.
Yeah, true.
It's
Fair
called
enough.
Megan.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about this?
Megan. It has some credibility. It looks weird.
Yeah, the trailer was interesting.
It looked like it's definitely like a cool concept. It's kind of, well, I don't know. I've not seen Chucky, but it gives me just Chucky vibes.
No, definitely.
I think that's
I saw the original and the remake, only those, but
Mhm.
it definitely has Chucky vibes.
Yeah, it looks like that, but with Black Mirror-esque like technology. Like, here's the technology twist, and here's how it goes wrong.
Yeah.
Except you at some point, it's like it's the Powerpuff Girls thing where he's adding a bunch of like he's like Black Mirror, Chucky, and then he accidentally sends in TikTok.
Yeah.
There's a very
Weird
awkward
dance.
dancing scene in the trailer that just kind of is weird. I don't know. It looks like it could be good. It has the girl from Get Out, I think.
Oh, yeah, it is.
And then I don't
A
know.
weird doll.
I wanna know if Megan is like practical effects of like.
I think it's a mix. Like, it does look
Mhm.
like it's an actual actor,
Mhm.
but, like, kind of enhanced with CG to make her look more robotic.
Mhm.
I thought the trailer was a little creepy.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, it looked good. It looks like it tells you everything that's going to happen in the movie,
Yeah.
though. And that weird TikTok dance has me a little worried.
Yeah. It has that's
yeah.
a recurring theme with trailers recently.
Not for
Excuse me.
Halloween. We'll get into that.
Yeah, we will get into that. But that's Megan. It looks interesting. I feel like as far as the like 20 plus Netflix trailers that they're shooting out at us in their desperate attempt to stop people from going away because of the ads.
Yeah.
It looks pretty good, I think.
Yeah, it looks fun. Our next trailer
Mm-hmm.
is going to be a movie that I was actually very much looking forward to
Mm-hmm.
because it has Ryan Reynolds,
Mm-hmm.
who I love. It has Will Ferrell, who I love,
Mm-hmm.
but I get not recently because recently his movies have been so to just straight up bad,
Mm-hmm.
and it involves Christmas,
Yeah,
and that is Spirited.
Mm-hmm.
It is a musical rendition of A Christmas Story
Mm-hmm.
with Ryan Reynolds as Scrooge and Will Ferrell as his Ghost of Christmas Present, but he's going to be present in the entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I like the trailer. I thought it was cute. I thought it had a few good laughs here and there.
This was the most recent trailer that I watched of the 3 that we're talking about. And I will say, hot take, I'm not the biggest fan of Elf or Will Ferrell.
No.
Will Ferrell in Christmas isn't a super great mix for me.
Get out.
And Ryan Reynolds, very clever, great personality. Excuse me.
I just watched him in The Proposal. Not a great movie, but he was good in it.
Mm-hmm. I think, I don't know. I don't want to make any strong claims. I'm not in a very fiery mood like I was with Lyle. But I'm not super excited for this movie.
No.
I don't really.
I feel like I am in the minority for that one of
Mhm.
people being excited for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But, I love both these comedians.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping the trailer didn't, that's not their best jokes in the movie.
Mhm.
I'm sure it's not, but here's hoping.
Right.
But yeah, I'm hoping it'll be funny.
Mhm.
The trailer had endeared me
Mhm.
enough. I didn't think it was super overtly funny or anything.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm. I'd say Ryan Reynolds for me after Free Guy dropped a million pegs.
Oh no.
And it's that was on me because everybody was astounded by Free Guy, and then I saw it with super duper high expectations and was just disappointed.
You like the Adam Project though, right?
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah. Go check out our review for it.
yeah,
See what
true.
we really thought.
Was that a double or was that by itself? I think it was.
On
I
its
feel
own.
like we did.
The only double review we've done is West Side Story and Tick Tick Boom, which go check that review out.
It was definitely a Netflix movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Tick Tick Boom! I've not thought about in a while.
I think about it every day.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I'm at an awkward point with Ryan Reynolds right now.
I get that. Yeah.
But I understand what it's Will Ferrell, it's Ryan Reynolds, it's a Christmas movie, has to happen. Sorry for the lack of energy
Yeah,
for
come
me today.
on, Austin.
I'm
what is going on?
mentally catching my
Is
breath.
it we just ate, so maybe it's that.
I think I'm still catching up mentally.
Yeah. But anyway, do you have any more thoughts?
I don't think so. I want to check
I
my letterbox to see if there's
don't
anything
have any
I watched
thoughts
lately.
either.
I
don't. I mean, I watched The Proposal. That was cute. That was fine. I
Mhm.
mean, it was kind of weird about this boss forcing her assistant to marry her,
Yeah.
and yeah, that was a little so. But yeah, it was
I got
it was fine, I guess. You got nothing? Okay, let's
I got
move on.
Nothing.
All right, let's move on to the main topic here today,
hmm
and that is Halloween Ends,
Finally.
or as I like to call it, Halloween Ends, the romantic drama.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
We usually talk about the plot for this.
Mhm.
I don't think we should, because the trailers
Yeah.
set everyone up as if it's going to be a different movie.
hmm
And so it's going to be kind of hard to avoid the plot
Mhm.
because that's the entire movie.
Right.
But basically, it's Haddonfield 4 years after the events of the previous two films.
hmm
Michael Myers has been gone
hmm
the entire time. He just disappeared off the map.
Vanished.
And Haddonfield is trying to reconcile with that
Mhm.
and just kind of bracing for his return
Right.
if he ever does return. And then
It's-
stuff happens.
It's mostly just people the most. Now I want to preface this real quick. I've not seen the other Halloween
Yeah.
movies. This was my first Halloween movie, and I'm gonna say it's not what I expected, but I was not expecting much in the first place. But I've not seen any of the other films. I don't know who Michael Myers actually is supposed to be. I don't know who, like, I don't know anything about this franchise.
Yeah.
I know that Michael Myers likes to try and kill Jamie Lee Curtis, and that's the plot.
In the last one, they try to say no, like he's not. He just wants to kill, and he was just happened to be at your house. And then in this movie, they just reverse that. Like, no, never mind. No. He wants to go after Jamie Lee Curtis.
That's very awkward.
Yeah, the Halloween Kills, the one that like was trying to say that, like, no, he's just a killing machine. He doesn't care about you.
Right.
I hated that plot point because I'm like, that takes the wind out of the sails, like, immediately. It's also my least favorite of the 4, like, I guess now canon Halloween movies, which are the only ones I've seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they do reverse that kind of. But anyway, what were your thoughts?
Well, as a first-time Halloween watcher, I'll say it wasn't a great impression. It wasn't a terrible movie, but it certainly wasn't good. I think it didn't know what it wanted to be, or I think it knew what it wanted to be, but it doesn't work. I think it's rushed, and I think it's sloppy storytelling. I think that their ability to, like, I'll get into it later because we can't really talk about much with spoilers.
Yeah.
But Halloween, I was led to assume that this was a slasher flick. And it is, technically.
At the end.
It takes a very long time to get any Michael Myers rings.
Yes.
It's incredibly disappointing because for the first, like, so long, I'm not going to say a time because I'm not going to let people count down to it, but it's a very long time until you even see him for the first time.
One of the things I did not like about Halloween Kills is that Jamie Lee Curtis, her name's Laurie in the franchise, she's the main character. Yeah. She was in it for like maybe 10 minutes because she was just in a hospital bed laying down. And that was like, why have this movie then? Why not just do a time jump when she's out of the hospital? And in this movie, she's in it a lot more, still kind of sidelined. But now it's Michael's turn to be sidelined.
Yeah. And I the moment you sideline what your franchise is built on, you have a problem. Yeah. I can't discuss it yet, but this, like, movie was, like, you can tell what it's trying to do. But it still fails miserably at trying. I want to talk about spoilers.
Wait, let me talk about my thoughts.
Go for it.
So you can, like, say.
Let me write this down.
So, I agree with you, like, almost 100% on everything you said. I do think it worked for me more. I don't know if it's because I've watched the other movies, so I know like what's going on and everything. But this, if there was like one word to say about this movie to describe it, I'd say bold. It is a bold movie with what they do in this, like especially the opening scene, because they do something that's like a rule of horror movies. Like you don't do that.
I'm curious what that is. Oh, like I don't think
most horror movies don't do that, and this one did it. And so it was just bold to not only do that, but start it with that, and then have the rest of the movie. It was bold, and basically like this movie is about like evil, and how do we reconcile with it? Like, is it born that way, or do we create it? And like it's a lot of different themes and messages, and I think it works for the most part. Here in my notes I say it does work for the most part, but I do think it could be implemented better and differently. And we'll get more into that in like the spoiler stuff. It just feels like they don't go all the way with any of the messages they're going for. Like they go like 75% of the way, and then they call it a day. but like I said, I still enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I like you said, I did feel it was rushed, especially a romantic. I don't even want to say subplot because it took up like almost a full hour of the movie.
Yeah.
But that romance is it's between Laurie's granddaughter and a new character in this, and they have no chemistry. Like
they really don't.
I'm sorry to say they don't have any chemistry, and it's so rushed.
Right.
Because they meet each other, and then immediately, like the granddaughter is like, "Hey, you want to go out? Like, I want to be with you."
Right.
And he's like, "What? Like, I don't think you want to be with me."
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it does not work. However, both the actors are really good. The newcomer, I thought, did a good enough job with what he was given.
Here, check my take real quick. I think he looks like, I believe his name.
No.
What?
No, don't say it. Is it what I said?
I don't know what you said. What is it?
He looks like the dude from Coraline.
No. I wasn't going to say that.
Oh, okay.
No,
I thought you were going to steal my bit.
No, I'm not going to steal your joke. I only do that most of the time. He looks like Ansel Elgort and Willem Dafoe mixed.
No, okay.
That's my take. That's
Guys, look. If you're listening, look up this guy. His name's Corey in the movie. I don't know what his name is in real life. He looks like the friend from Coraline.
He looks like any supernatural character.
Yes, but the friend from Coraline, he has a bike. He has like a welder's helmet and stuff. He has curly hair. He's like always hunched over. The guy Corey in this movie has a motorcycle. He has a welder's helmet. He has curly hair. He's hunched over a lot. Like the entire movie, I was thinking, I know this actor from somewhere. What have I seen him in? And then it was the very end. I was like, oh no, he just looks like so much like the guy from Coraline.
I need to see that movie again.
You do.
It's been so long.
But yeah, I thought his performance was good. Obviously, the standout is Jamie Lee Curtis. Like, this franchise is her baby.
Yeah.
And she brings it every time.
Yeah.
She's so good in this
great.
movie. I love Jamie Lee Curtis. Oh, and the actor's actual name is Rohan Campbell.
Gotcha. I think he looks like Ansel Elgort and Willem Dafoe mixed. But in terms of performances, individually, I think everybody gave a pretty decent job.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it probably would have been different if I had seen Laurie interact with her granddaughter in the previous movies, or like when, spoiler alert for previous movies, should I say it?
Say it.
Death. Like the granddaughter's or Laurie's daughter and her husband are killed. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Or her granddaughter, whose name I'm forgetting right now.
I think it's Allison.
Allison. Allison's parents, or Laurie's daughter and son-in-law. They die.
And the mom's name is Karen. So we got Laurie, Karen, then Allison.
Gotcha.
And Karen's death came at the very end of Halloween Kills, and they set it up as if it's this big moment. And I was like, oh, like, I don't really like this movie, but this sets up like a big encounter between the two of them.
Right.
Because I feel like Laurie's gonna be like, you kill my kid? No, I'm gonna hunt you down. And Karen is barely mentioned in this movie.
Yeah.
They just moved past it. It's like they just wanted to get rid of the actor. And it's like, come on, Judy Greer.
I feel like I need to be splashed in the face with water. This is like bad. No. But to say, or to that point though, I was if I'd seen the previous movies, I might have felt more of a connection. But with this movie alone, they do give like a little bit of backstory in the beginning of like, my name's Laurie.
It's like previously
welcome to Haddonfield. And they give me that, but I still didn't feel connection between any of the characters. I think their individual performances are strong, but when it comes to them interacting with somebody else in an emotional way, it's really weak. I
think it is hard too, because this is a 4-year time jump. Because 2018
I didn't understand
Halloween.
The timeline. What year is this all taking place in?
So this movie takes place today, or I guess Halloween this year.
Okay.
So the original is in 1978. 2018's Halloween is set in 2018 Halloween night. Halloween Kills is set that same night. So it's like Halloween Kills is basically an extension of what else happened in 2018's Halloween.
Weird.
Which, that movie, I just don't like. I feel like if you erase that movie and just put in the original Halloween, Halloween 2018, and this movie, it does create like a good kind of trilogy. Like obviously, Halloween Kills has like some themes that overlay into this one, especially like the evil dies tonight, like mob mentality of that movie transferring over into this movie with like who's going to be the next Michael Myers now that he's gone. Speaking of horror movies, we haven't even talked about the horrorness of this movie.
Yeah.
I thought it, like I said in the beginning, is more of a romantic movie.
Yeah.
So the horror isn't really there a lot of the time, but when it is, I think it works.
Give me a moment. I cannot recall right now any moment in the movie that I felt horror.
I would say the very beginning, like it's just like suspenseful when before the parents leave the house and like looking for the kid, and then when Corey is looking for the kid.
Yeah, I'd say. Well, I might be just. I'm so sorry, everybody. I might just be desensitized to horror movies, but I didn't feel anything.
Okay. Yeah, I felt like it was at least exciting, like the horror, like excitement that you get.
Yeah.
Like I felt that, especially. Try to say without any spoilers. I guess it was in the trailer. The sewer, like every scene with the sewer.
Yeah.
What had like some horror with it. When like they start to get killing down, I would say that's pretty horrific.
I think the main thing that that creates that division for me is that it's less of a slasher flick than I thought it was going to be. Like,
yeah, and I'll give you that.
I wanted a fun murder mystery crap type, or not even a murder mystery, because I'm sure everybody knows who Michael Myers is. I'm just not in the loop. Because I know it's like, oh, it's a bald white guy, and then that's the most I get, at least from the flashback that I get. Because there's like the shot of him in the prison from one of the earlier movies.
Yeah, so like this entire like sequel trilogy kind of thing, it feels like 2018 is a legacy sequel, like done right. That movie is amazing. I love the 2018 Halloween. It was in like my top 10 that year.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's a legacy sequel done right. Halloween Kills is like you say, it's just a straight up slasher movie. It doesn't like have a lot of brains. I mean, it does have brains splattering.
Yeah.
But like there's like it's kind of brainless.
Yeah.
It's mindless, just slashing, kind of what you were expecting. And then this movie it takes it back a little bit in order to have like an observation of what makes a killer and like what's like the legacy of Michael Myers on this town and stuff like that, which is why I liked it, because it just felt bold and also felt like a new step, like a new direction for this franchise.
Fair enough.
When a lot of the other movies, like even though I really love Halloween, they do so many homages to the original.
Yeah.
That like that and Kills felt like it was kind of like doing the same things over again, whereas this one it was doing something new, which I really appreciate. And like I said, it mostly works, not fully.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Again, opinion from somebody who's not seen the movies. I think the movie loses a lot of steam in like most of the drive from like a lot of this movie is like we keep saying is taken up by this like romance plot, and I feel like it loses. I as a new viewer do not have any interest in these characters, and that's my fault for not seeing the other movies. But as a standalone, like I think a decent rule in film is that you can't rely on everybody to see, unless you're like something stupid like you're a franchise like or a genre decider.
Yeah.
I don't think you can rely on people seeing anything else. But with me seeing this movie, I felt like it was paced. It felt really long. It felt really like there's parts that I cared about that were like because I wanted a horror Halloween movie that I had in my brain, which is not what I got. That's in my brain. That's obviously not realistic expectations.
Yeah, like I liked the middle section ish, because they had some ideas going for them, and they were like undercurrents of what was going on. So I was like, okay, I'm still with it. But like you said, it was just kind of weirdly paced at times, and the romance just wasn't doing it for me because they weren't going all the way like they could have done. And then I think the end of it, like maybe the last 30 minutes, that's when like the pace is good.
Yeah.
And it does a good job. By the way, the trailers, like we said, they don't give you the plot at all.
Yeah.
What they give you is the ending with like the fight between Laurie and Michael.
Yeah.
And won't say anything about that, but it was a good fight.
Well, it's crazy because it's like they put that in the trailer because they clearly know what people want to see. And then people show up to the movie, and it's like, no, watch an hour and a half of these two people who don't like each other, and believe it. And then I have to do that, and then it's like, oh, well, now that you're an hour in, I guess we'll show you Michael.
Yeah.
It wasn't a horror movie. It was a stupid Romeo and Juliet, like, forbidden love crap. That I
would say there are some horror elements still there because of spoiler stuff we can't talk about.
I guess.
Yeah.
I feel like convinced by it.
We keep dancing around it. Do you want to go into spoilers?
I think we should do it soon. Yes.
First.
Yeah. I think this movie had a lot of cliche, and it's Halloween. It is cliche. That is where cliche comes from, with the man in the mask and the knife chasing you. That with like Friday the 13th and all that, etc. But I don't know. I don't know what I expected anymore. I wasn't impressed very much. I wasn't expecting to be impressed.
Yeah.
I had middle expectations, and those were met.
Yeah, I think I also had low expectations because of the last one, which is why I am more high on it than it seems like you are. Also, on my notes, the kills are very brutal and very effective.
Fair enough. I'll give you the gore and blood meter was pretty good in this movie.
Well, because the last one, it was too much. Like you saw that in the little montage because they mainly just give you the kills from Halloween Kills. And it was too much in that it just, one, it made you desensitized to it, but it felt like they were relying on it too much instead of telling an actual story. And it just felt over the top. It didn't feel effective or realistic at all.
Yeah.
In this one, it's some of them are still over the top, but it's still effective because they use it less, which makes it just more effective. It's better. Also, soundtrack. Gotta give it up for my man John Carpenter.
He directed
the original.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he directed and did the soundtrack for the original, and he's done the soundtrack for all three of like the legacy sequels.
Cool.
And it's just so great. Just hearing the music. I was like rewatching parts of it this morning, and it like just hearing the music here and there. I was like, man, I love this soundtrack so much. So props to that.
Yeah.
How would you rate this?
Let me. I'm gonna give this movie a 60 out of 100.
Okay.
I need to rate it on my Letterboxd, but yeah, it was like, I don't know. I need to watch the other movies.
I would recommend you watch them. Yeah, especially the original because that's just an all-time classic.
As it is, I wasn't a super duper big fan of it, so I'm gonna give it a 2.5 stars on Letterboxd, and I'm gonna give it a 60 and 100 on That's a Wrap.
Okay. I would give it a 70 out of 100. Like I said, I just liked it more than you. It felt like it worked just a little more for me. Just like I was able to see what they were doing. Also, some of the messages are a little like ham-fisted to you, especially a scene in a bar where they just tell you, hey, this is what the movie's going to be about. And it's like, we already got that. You don't have to tell us, especially after the beginning when you tell us. But yeah, I thought it was effective. I thought it was scary when it wanted to be. The ending, we'll get into that. But Austin,
yes,
what's the Rotten Tomatoes score?
I have no idea. Probably low-ish. Critics probably didn't receive it super duper well. It's probably like critics' consensus is going to be like, it's another Halloween movie, but this time it's something blah 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 blah. blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I'm really pessimistic today. I'm going to give it a 63 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
And critics for the tomato meter. For audience, I'm going to give it... I say people like this a little more. I'm going to give it a 72. 63-72.
63-72?
Yes.
Okay. For critics.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, did I do Lyle also this week? For the tomato score?
Did we do Lyle?
Yeah, did I? Oh, I think I did Lyle. My bad.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. Anyway, for critics, you said 63%.
I did.
With 108 reviews. The actual score is 44%.
Okay.
The critics' consensus.
Here we go.
Halloween ends, for now anyway,
Yeah.
with a frequently befuddling installment that's stabbed, slashed, and beaten by a series of frustrating missed opportunities. Which, I mean, they're like I said, like they just don't go all the way with it, which makes them miss out on a lot of stuff. But audience, you said 72%.
Yeah.
With over 250 verified ratings. 59%. That's really low. Like,
yeah,
I thought it'd be a lot higher.
I did optimistically, but that's what I gave it. So
yeah,
I do not disagree. I think the movie was rough.
Yeah, I do think I like it more than people, so I get that. I think that's fair.
But I think that's
it
for non-spoiler territory.
Oh yeah.
Let's go ahead. Or next week.
Next week we're off.
Yes, next week.
This is going to be technically the review for next week.
Yeah, so we won't be here Monday.
But
the
the
week
Monday
after that,
yes.
Is it?
That is Black Adam.
Okay. We get to see The Rock in another action movie. Hot Dog. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
And stay tuned because the week after that, we're going
Black
way
Adam
ahead now.
What is it?
The Munsters. Our Halloween special.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I'm not ready for that. So yeah, join us in 2 weeks. No, not this
like
next
a week
Monday,
and a half,
but
kind of.
The Monday after that.
Follow us on That's a Wrap NCR for any
Instagram.
updates.
Yes. But I think that's all we got before spoilers. So if you're stopping here, thank you very much for listening. But let's go ahead and get to spoilers now. Spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Where to start?
Let's start at the beginning.
Yeah.
Move our way down. Starting the movie off with killing a kid. I thought it was going to be like, oh, is Michael just like camping out in the attic or something, and that's gonna be his first victim,
right?
And then no, he just opens the door too hard, and it causes the kid to fly down,
Light kid,
to this huge house, like multiple stories, onto the ground, and you just hear the splat and everything. That was disturbing, and it was bold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I was too, like, I didn't know what was going on. Because I don't know who Michael Myers is. I thought this was like, it's one of those weird movies where it's a sequel and they're running out of stuff, so they're just going to give us backstory on Michael. And so I was like,
oh, you thought that was Michael?
Yeah, because they did the initial jump scare of the kid. It's like, Jeremy, where are you, Jeremy? And then Jeremy goes, boo, and he jumps out, and it's like, or he's like hiding behind a door or something, like something Michael would do. And I'm like, oh, it's Mini Michael.
Yeah, you definitely have not seen the original.
I haven't.
The beginning is his backstory.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I guess I'll just tell you real fast.
Don't. I might watch the original Halloween.
Okay.
Probably not the sequels or whatnot. Maybe 2018.
Watch 2018.
But I want to watch the original Halloween either way. So don't spoil that. That I want to try and go in blind as much as I can. Obviously, I know. So, anyways. Well, we're in spoiler now.
We're in spoilers.
Yeah,
fine.
I know Michael dies.
Yeah. They make sure he dies.
Yeah.
That had me laughing so hard from the beginning to the very end. But when like she just keeps like cutting him open, and then she's like, he's dead, and Allison is like, not dead enough, and then they strap him to a car. I thought they were gonna blow him up.
I thought they were gonna like Viking funeral burn, like it's a pyre as they drive him through town on fire.
And then like how they all like try to touch him like he's a god from that like Batman v Superman scene.
That was weird because I want to understand why we're like the entire movie it's shown that everybody's bullying Laurie and all of them for like, ooh, it's your fault. Michael Myers is in our town. Blah blah blah.
You gotta watch the other ones.
And then everybody shows up at the end. It's like, thank God this monster's dead. Good job, Laurie. They're all patting her on the back and like it's like a candlelight vigil. Yeah. It's like that was a weird turn for me. The bullying was stupid. I liked. They're like the bullying kids were like band kids.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I wonder who's gonna get violently murdered in this movie.
You got some milk? I like milk. You my friend.
It was so weak. And then there's the fourth member who's like, guys, we probably shouldn't do this. Who also gets brutally killed at the end.
Killed. Like run over. Stuck under a fence.
I figured he was gonna leave her.
Yeah.
He was like, or like they would have communicated somehow that she was like.
But
nicer.
No, she was complicit by association, so
apparently.
she had to go.
So that sucks to be her. But okay, I have my main complaint with the movie stocked up. Is there anything you want to shoot before I do that?
Yes.
Okay.
It might be the same as yours.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we can go right into it. Is yours about the romance and Corey?
Mine is about Corey.
Mine's about Corey too.
Okay.
So I guess since we are now in spoilers, if I guess you don't care about the movie and you just want to hear us talk.
Yeah.
Corey is set up to thanks. Mm-hmm. Corey is set up to be the new Michael Myers.
Yes.
And how they do that is that because the beginning, when he accidentally kills this kid, he becomes like the town freak.
Right.
The town psycho is what they say.
Mm-hmm.
And so everyone's like, we know you did it, even though he got let off because it was an accident.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's just like bullied to like no end. Like everyone hates him. He's the town freak. And that kind of is what creates like the new Michael Myers in him.
Right.
And so a lot of this movie is like, is evil born or do we create evil?
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I thought they were going with, no, we create evil, which, so I was like, oh, okay. So it's going to be like maybe Laurie and Allison like seeing what's going on because Laurie sees it in him the entire time. Like I see Michael in those eyes.
And it's, I wish they kind of toned that down a little bit. This movie is not familiar with the show don't tell rule.
Well, I think it would have been great if there was kind of more of that, but in a way of it's like a game of cat and mouse with Laurie and Corey.
Yeah.
But like with she knows what's going on, but she also like can't tell the granddaughter or something, which still doesn't make sense because Allison should see that he's kind of being weird.
Yeah.
Now. But like if they were having this game of cat and mouse, like she's trying to stop him, but Corey just keeps going on a rampage,
right?
And like keeps going darker. But anyway, where I was leading to that is, I wanted them to like kind of save Corey because these past two movies have been so much about evil, and how this town has been infected by Michael with this evilness. So I'm like, what's the opposite of evil? Love. And I'm like, that'd be cliche. But if like Laurie and Allison somehow find a way to get Corey out of it, that would be the ultimate triumph over Michael.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would have been a much better narrative. But alas, Corey and Allison are in love.
Somehow.
Which doesn't make sense. I don't know Allison. I don't know if she has a thing for psychos in previous movies.
No, she...
The cop pulling her over, I thought it was her dad. I thought it was her dad pulling her over and being like, hey...
He's
like
super old, yeah.
Immediate creep. Because I like it was like here's a jokey line, and it's like, oh, it's like somebody she knows pulling her over as a joke.
Yeah.
No, it's just the actual cop pulling her over, being creepy.
Yeah. In 2018, she was dating a douchebag, but she was also in high school.
Gotcha.
So I was like, yeah, like.
Well, I don't know. It's still that was just a little thing to talk about. That was insanely creepy and out of the blue for me who had never seen the movies. But the way they go about Corey's character, it feels so unauthentic. It feels very clipped together. It feels like puzzle pieces that they like, because they're trying to show his slow descent into like darkness and that he's following a dark path. And I don't think we see a super clear, like it's not a linear drop down, because we see him like, I don't even know. This movie is like just in a weird spot for me because nothing sit well.
I feel like if they didn't really want Michael in this movie, which it feels like they didn't want him in, they should have killed him in the second one, because in the last one they literally beat Michael to a pulp. Like they mentioned this, they shoot him, they take a baseball bat and like bash his head in, so much stuff, and like a baseball bat with like spikes in it, I think. And, like, so many weapons, they just beat him. And, like, it's like a whole mob of people just kicking, beating, shooting him. And he gets up. And, like, his whole thing is, like, the more he kills, the more power he gets. And so I'm like, well, what if they killed him? And then in this movie, it is kind of what they were dealing with, like, the legacy of Michael Myers.
Right.
In the town, because they're so, like, infected by him. Like, basically choosing another Michael Myers in this kid who... It's an accident, but because he's like so tortured by all these people, he eventually becomes the new Michael Myers.
Right.
And then they just didn't go all the way with it. And that's just really, it's just kind of sad. But what they do with it, like how they go about it, with kind of like Michael being his mentor,
right?
Stuff like that. Like I like that. Like it kind of worked for me, but like I said, it didn't work all the way.
Yeah.
Do you have any other thoughts on that?
Definitely. They were kind of going with like the Scream gag of, well, spoiler for Scream. We're in spoiler territory for Scream 1, or probably multiple Screams, but Scream 1 specifically, where there's two killers, and it's like during like Corey's first like kill with Deborah, or the redhead from the doctors, he kills the doctor and then she locks him out, and it's like, oh no, she's gonna call the cops, and then he's there, or actual Michael was like,
which I liked that too.
I liked it. I think that worked well.
Yeah.
I think it would have been more interesting to see the dynamic between Michael and him, and not just like, because like I don't want to bring up the sequels to Star Wars, but even Kylo Ren worshiping Darth Vader kind of vibe would have been nice, but we just see like...
And they kind of had that with, like, I Need the Mask. Like, when Corey, like, takes the mask, like, Kylo Ren idolizing Darth Vader's helmet.
Okay.
Because the mask in this franchise, like, the mask has a power to it. That's kind of what drives the 2018 one, because a bunch of psychologists wanted to do a podcast on Michael Myers, and so they get the actual mask and show it to him, and that's what causes everything to happen.
Interesting.
But which even in that scene when Corey takes the mask from Michael, he should have just killed Michael, because that would have been like the full transformation into being now becoming Michael Myers. But they didn't want to do that, and they didn't want to do like saving Corey, which would be the ultimate triumph against Michael Myers, like not just killing him, because even though they killed him,
right,
everyone's still damaged from him. Like he still kind of did what he wanted to do.
I think the best ending narratively for them would have been like Laurie kills Michael and Corey helps Laurie kill Michael. Yeah. And that evil is gone. Them killing Corey and him doing whatever antics he was at the end was just like, okay, we gotta. Earlier we were talking about like them talking about constantly him like he's going down a dark path. I wish they would have just like showed us that more of like, I want more killings. I want him conflicted more. It never seemed like he was very conflicted. I think that was the main problem. Because it was always either he's in the love mode with Allison or he's down to violently kill.
Yeah, there was only one scene of that. Because, when I was rewatching this morning, after he kills the homeless man, which I thought that was just self-defense.
Me too.
So I was like, oh my God, like, he accidentally did that, but now he's going to try to reconcile with that. And then he goes home into the bathroom, and then he's, like, kind of looking at himself. So I feel like that was the only little bit of conflict we got. And he goes full I'm a murderer like mode.
Right.
Like no conflict whatsoever.
It never shows that we have a chance to save Corey, because it's Corey is gone from the beginning of the movie, and that takes out most of the like suspense of what will he do? Will he be the next Michael? And then he dies, and then Michael shows up for the trailers, and the actual thing that everybody came for is just for the final fight between Laurie and Michael, and then also Allison is there, and also a fridge is there, and also like 5 knives. I feel like Laurie needs to have a better check on her kitchen knives by this point. Like, if they've not made a joke about that before.
Well, I will say, like, in the 2018 Halloween, it's basically Home Alone, like her house, because like you kind of see that at the beginning. She was training for 40 years for Michael's return. So, and then with this one, they do kind of explain it with like, she's like, okay, I'm gonna let you go. Like, you're gone. I'm gonna try to move past this. So I guess that's why there's like all those knives, because she's more off guard.
Fair enough.
Which I like, I will accept that. But yeah, I just the ending with them putting him in like the grinder, but she still kept the mask. The mask is still there.
Well, they're not done with this. This movie's gonna do well, and then they're gonna have like, it's the
Halloween ends again.
Halloween Begins is gonna be the next one, and it's gonna be like the dad of Jeremy or something stupid.
And I thought,
they did Corey's dad dirty. That was rough.
Yeah. They do parents dirty a lot in this.
They do everybody
like
dirty.
Allison's parents, but like her mom. I thought she was going to be the Corey character in this. Yeah. Because how they set up the very end of the last one, right before she dies, she's looking like Michael. Like she's doing all the like something Michael did in the very first Halloween movie, and so I'm like, oh, like they're setting her up to be the next Michael. Dead. Like never mind. But oh, by the way, something I also really liked, which is like homages done right, is when Corey does all the Michael Myers isms. Yeah. Like when he sits up, like but I can't describe it. But you like if you've seen
right
Halloween,
angle.
Full right angle, sitting up, hiding behind bushes, staring at Laurie, stuff like that. It was all like Michael Myers stuff, which I thought was really cool to show. Oh, he's becoming Michael Myers.
Nope, he dies. Also, Michael Myers dies. Also, everybody's happy. Also, the movie's over. I was surprised there's not an end credits scene. I feel like I thought they were gonna shove another sequel down our throats, and they will with time, I'm sure. But,
by the way, before we end this, Austin, you saw this on Peacock.
Yes, I did.
I saw this in the movie theater
in
IMAX. Yes. Go see this in the movie theater. If you are going to see it, go see it in the theater. It is a much better experience that way.
However, if you're lazy and you like procrastinating,
watch it in 720p on a Chromebook.
Yes, that's how I watched it. It doesn't do it justice, and I know, and I apologize for that. But
we wanted to get the review out for everyone.
But my thoughts were still developed, somewhat, even if I'm like half asleep right now. But let me check my notes real quick. 1 second. There was one of my notes was, let me open it back up. Corey like runs up to Allison and he's like, I killed someone. And then I put quotation marks, heart eyes emoji, quotation marks. 53 minutes in and barely any Michael Myering. I said Heather vibes, but their relationship is dumb! Exclamation mark.
I think I looked up. It was like 65 minutes in, or 75 minutes in when we first get like Michael Myers.
Yeah. And then I put just trying, or this is from earlier. I was just saying that they're just trying to set up another Michael Myers, and then they fail to do that well. Yeah. And it's disappointing, and it's rough, and it's over. It's like I feel like they could have done more in less time. But they wasted so much time with a stupid relationship of which I don't care.
I still think what they did was mostly effective. Just get better writing, get better dialogue. Yeah, that would have been.
If they made a better movie, I think it would have gotten.
I think so too.
I think I would have given it a better score.
Just make a better movie.
Yeah,
it's not that hard, right?
Definitely, I'm not a college student who definitely knows everything better, and I'm not egotistical at all.
Just make a better movie, guys. Yeah. How hard is it? But with that,
we're ending it there. All right. I got nothing.
I got nothing else. Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us for this little special episode.
Thank you.
If you're not listening live, then This wasn't a special. This is a special episode.
It's still special.
In our hearts.
It'll still come to you early.
True. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, what a day for
Austin.
me. All right. Thank you all very much. Join us next week for next the Monday after the next one.
Next time.
Join us next time on That's a Wrap for Black Adam. Look for updates and whatnot on our Instagram at That's a Wrap NCR. But until next time,
that's a wrap.